Well, guys, this is Casey is Raw, and today I have my guest co-host is Tex and AJ Raiders, and this is the
No,
three
hang on.
man.
Whoa. We got a special guest co-host. We have a
Yeah,
run in from the back. We've got AJ Raider, somebody that y'all probably seen in the comments or on Twitter here or there. But Casey had to call in the heavy pros for this quality wrestling content known as
yes.
WCW. So this is what we
Well,
had to do.
the quality product. I mean, that's the main. That's the main. But AJ brought this up. I thought it was a perfect name for the vid. For this, it's the three-man power trip. I told Tex before we went on this recording that I looked it up, and there's only one channel with that name, and I think they're a dead channel. I mean, I'm not trying to shoot them down, but they hadn't produced
Hey,
anything in a year.
I'm gonna borrow a phrase from you. Fuck them. Let's just do what we do. So
Well, it's a show, though. It's not like I'm changing my name, my YouTube channel to that.
they stole it from WCW. We can steal it from them. It's okay. So,
No, I thought the two-man power trip came from the WWF.
oh
Well,
wait, no, I'm thinking of the New Jersey Triad with DDP, Canyon,
yeah,
and who was the other guy? I can't remember now.
uh,
Shit,
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Bam
Yeah, it
Bam.
was
Yeah,
Bam Bam.
that's who I was thinking of. But yeah. Anyways, welcome AJ to the
What's
podcast.
going
This
on,
is his
guys?
virgin experience. He's the greenhorn here,
Debut.
so this is his hot debut on the scene. AJ, tell us about yourself.
Well, what do you guys want me to say? Like, this is my first time. I don't know what
Well,
to.
like, give us a little bit of your background in
Yeah.
wrestling. What do you
Okay,
like? What do stuff like that?
well, I started watching wrestling in 1989. I believe it was like early years of WCW. Like, this is like year two of WCW before Turner bought them out from Jim Crockett. And yeah, I pretty much I was like 6 months old watching it, and
Wow.
like I can finally remember. A lot of people say, "Oh, you can't remember stuff when you're 6 months old." I can tell you exactly what happened. I was 6 months old.
Hell yeah.
Me and my old man. We were sit. I was literally. Sometimes people say, "Oh, well, why would you want to tell the story?" But I was laying, just chilling on the couch with my dad. He was sitting there having a smoke and a beer. We are sitting there. I'm just watching, and I loved it ever since. And I'm 33 now, so it's like it's my whole
Hell
life. I'm surprised I haven't been a wrestler, but it's just I don't know. It's just been like that. But yeah, like my fondest moments of wrestling for like WCW exactly because I've only been to one wrestling show ever in my life. Do you guys remember Nitro 100
Oh
live
yeah.
from the Palace?
Yeah.
I was there. Yep,
Oh
August.
hell yeah.
Nice.
Yep,
That's
August
cool.
4th, 1997. Yep, when Luger racked Hogan for the belt, I was
Yep.
there. The night the actually it was the same day, that Monday. We went, me and my mom and my brother, we went to Harmony House in Lake Orion. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say all that, but it's in Michigan. It's no longer there. But we met Ric Flair there. It was the best thing I ever did. I was 8 years old. It was great. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. The minute Luger won that belt from Hogan, the whole palace, the roof blew up. Like everybody was like, it erupted. And the picture being an 8 year old kid, and you're seeing drunk people everywhere just hollering and screaming. And then you had some people throwing stuff in the ring. And then you see the whole WCW locker room coming out. And it's
Oh, that's
crazy.
cool.
Being there in the prime of the Monday Night Wars
Mm,
and just
Oh yeah.
loving every minute of it. It was great. Good times.
I
I
tell you
wish it.
what. Oh, sorry.
No, I personally, to be honest with you, I really wish that the whole buyout with Turner losing power at WCW and losing all power of everything, like CNN, all of them. If he would have never lost power of them, WCW would still be in business today. There would be no AEW. There would be no Ring of
I agree.
Honor, New Japan. Well, New Japan was still there, but like any other wrestling company you could think of, TNA, Impact, none of them would be in existence if WCW wasn't in the fold still. If we were still in our ground fighting for what we had, because like me and Tex said, WCW wasn't like how it doesn't have a good track record like how the new NWA or Impact or TNA or any of these companies. We literally had to fight and claw our way up to the mountain to be
That
on
is
the
true.
mountain, like Eric Bischoff said. We kicked WWF's ass 83 weeks in a row
Oh yeah.
because we were in a war, and that's just how it was.
You guys like to tote that 83 weeks out
You're
there.
damn right. You're
Dang
damn
right.
right.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well, who
It
else
was the
did it,
best
Casey?
time. Yeah,
Your
nobody
precious,
has.
your precious WWF with your Duke the Dumpster Drozy and the Goon and whoever else, the Repo Man coming out with this nonsense. You really you wonder why you got beat. I mean, they were taking the water coolers away from your from your offices. So
You know what? I heard rumors. I know the water cooler deal was true, but I heard the reason why they did that is they put filters in their water system.
If that happened to me, I would spin the story too to say whatever I needed to. That's all good. But either way, they whooped y'all for 83 weeks, and you just had to deal with it. And we're gonna hang on to that just until we die. I mean, that's never gonna go away. But all that being said, let's get into this list, guys, because we're doing a top 20 here of our favorite WCW talent. This is going to be a two-part video. We're going to go 20 to 11 on this episode, and then the second episode will be a top 10, obviously. So, since AJ's the new guy here, AJ, why don't you give us your number 20 pick?
Chris Jericho.
Well, okay.
Lionheart Chris Jericho. I mean, come on. If you really look at his shirts from like when he was in WCW, especially 1997, 1998, Chris Jericho, that WCW Monday Night Jericho shirt sold like hotcakes. Was he a good wrestler?
I had it whenever I was a kid.
I had it too. Yeah. Same here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They still reprint those shirts to this day, man. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know WWE likes to reprint a lot of those shirts.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, I mean, hell, the NWO is still on there for a reason. That didn't go away. You know what I mean? Well, Casey, what's your number 20?
I'm going to go with, this is going to be controversial, Tex and AJ, but I hate to say this.
I already know.
Ric Flair is number
Ric Flair.
20.
What?
Number
That's
20?
right. Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Oh.
Are you high?
No.
Jesus. God help us all.
Because I think there's actually more talented wrestlers than Ric Flair, if you really think about it.
I'm about to hang up the phone. We're just about to just end this call.
Well, I mean, look, we had Chris Benoit. We had
murdered his family. Yes.
Yeah, murdered his family. That damn murderer. And then, like AJ said, Chris Jericho and a bunch of. I mean, Juventud Guerrero was better.
I don't know. 1997 Ric Flair, 1998 Ric Flair, when the Horsemen. I don't know about that. That was really good.
You put Juventud Guerrero over the Nature Boy, Mr. Jet Flying 16-time world, Casey.
Well,
I'm gonna call J-Man and tell him to come beat you in the head again. Maybe he hit you too hard last time, and this is what this is.
All of a sudden, J-Man comes out from the back and hits him again.
Well, my number 20 pick is Chronic, and this was a team from like the later years.
Oh, I didn't know we could do teams.
You can do.
I kind of did whatever I wanted to. But
okay.
I remember Chronic. This is the late 2000s, run of WCW. Kind of the
shit.
It was the bad period, but I still watched it till the end, and I loved it. Chronic, they always looked cool. They had a good entrance. They were awesome in the ring, and I was just always a huge Chronic fan. I don't think they ever made much merch of them because I don't remember ever having any, but they were always pretty cool. So I did like them. So
Yeah, they were red hot. They were red hot in WCW, but
oh, yeah.
when they made their way to WWF, I just think
of course.
they couldn't care less about them. So that's
Well, they got buried. They were a generic cool guy team in WWF when they already had 5 of them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's what it was. So,
Jeez.
yeah, no, it was one of those things. Who you got at 19 there, AJ?
I got Dean Malenko, the Iceman.
Iceman.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
A man of
Why is he
1,000
there?
holes. Why? I don't know. I pretty much it's like when you guys said that, I really think of Dean Malenko because of my dad. He loved Dean Malenko. He was his favorite wrestler of all time. So I
cool.
didn't really mention him that much, but like I just threw him on the list just because he was a horseman, and I was just like the horseman guy. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put him on there. So of course.
I think it definitely his run in WCW was pretty good.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's Slim that like, come on, Dean Malenko was great.
He just had a small run in WWF. I mean, he was the light heavyweight champion, but
he got buried.
I mean, I think he retired very quickly when he got into WWF. I mean, he won that belt and then he kind of like quietly retired.
Yeah, he like faded. Yeah.
He was a great one. Casey,
Yeah.
who you got?
This is gonna piss a lot of people off.
Jesus, Casey.
This is gonna really piss you off, Tex. But Sting.
Are you serious?
The Crows thing too.
The
Wow,
Crows.
that's the best one.
Yes.
Casey, we're gonna have to renegotiate this friendship we've got if you keep this up. I'm just fair warning. Why is Sting number 19? Go ahead. I'll humor you since we're already here.
Well, I feel like it with his run in WWE and now his AEW. Right now he's been using that Crow identity for too long. I mean, we talked about we both kind of like the Joker Sting a lot better than. I wish he would have done that a lot longer, but he needed to evolve, and I thought him being the Joker Sting would have been the right way to go. But
can I add something to that?
Please.
That Sting makeup that you're talking about, that Sting has right now, that's not the WCW Sting makeup. Not even close. He had that makeup like mid like 2000s with TNA and all that. Like the real Sting makeup, if you actually look it up, not even close.
Really?
To what he has. Yeah, it's not even close.
Well, I'm talking about you had.
He didn't have that soul patch back in 1997, and it was way different. Yeah.
It's still kind of the same. I mean, during the TNA, they kind of morphed it a little bit between the Surfer Sting and Crow Sting a little bit.
One of my favorite Sting face paints was when he was in the Wolfpack, but he had the full goatee. He had the goatee, and he painted the paint over it. I always thought that looked kind of cool. It was very short lived, but I always thought that looked cool.
I agree with that.
Yep, I can.
Well, my number 19 is the chairman himself, Laparka. This dude was cool. You knew what you were going to get with a Laparka match. He came running down to the ring with a chair already. He'd beat you in the head with it, then he'd stand on top of it. That was just fun. Always loved me some Laparka. So
his costume was so cool, man. I like that.
It's a skeleton, man. I mean, it looks cool, man. I mean, it's awesome. And like the little cheesy dance that he did and the whole thing, it was, I wasn't a huge cruiserweight guy, and I didn't even really. I think weight-wise, he wasn't a cruiserweight actually, because he was a bigger dude.
I could see him in the U.S. title picture, really.
I could too, and I always liked me some Laparka. He was my favorite of the AAA guys that came over or whatever. He was cool. I liked him.
Was he considered a cruiserweight, or was he?
Yeah, he was always in that division. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was Latino, so he had to be in the cruiserweight division. It's just how Eric Bischoff ran it. It was like the smaller guys, quote unquote, what Kevin Nash would say, vanilla midgets.
Yeah.
Would be like, say if you're going to start Nitro, you would always have they'd start out with the cruiserweights first, just to get it red hot and started. You know what I mean? And then you'd have mid card, then your main events. You know.
I think that's a good idea though, because I mean, for me, I know Tex doesn't like he calls it the gymnastics
Yes.
part. Like I kind of like how AEW's been, but I can understand when they do some big move and then no sells it. That does bother me a bit because when you do like a super kick and then like 5 seconds later they're already back up, I'm like, like come on, the guy just got kicked in the head. You figure you're gonna be down than longer than 5 seconds,
Right.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, Laparka was cool, man. The cruiserweights, they were definitely exciting. It wasn't my style of wrestling, but like I said, Laparka, he was different. And, for that reason, he's coming in at number 19. He would have been higher, but I've got some heavy hitters down here. So,
Right.
AJ, who you got?
I got the Giant.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, come on, that Dungeon of Doom run,
I
way
love the
before the
Dungeon of Doom.
NWA, before the
I love the
NWO.
Dungeon.
Yeah, I mean,
Hulk Hogan! King Curtis is screaming.
yeah,
I can hear it in my head right now. It was legendary.
yeah, it was great. I can't believe 95, 96, they actually put the strap on the Giant. I didn't think that they were going to be honest with you. I mean, the Giant, he was good. I liked his run better in WCW than he did in WWF, with just being Paul White. And then the Big Show, no, I didn't like
My
it.
favorite angle for Big Show ever was when he's riding his daddy's casket through the graveyard. I always loved
What
that.
year was that?
That was when he first got into WWF, so it was
Yeah.
early,
1999.
Yeah,
somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
But you've got Big Boss Man dragging a casket through a graveyard and Big Show's on top of
okay.
it.
Yeah, so that was when the Ministry of Darkness was going on. Was that
Yeah,
before WrestleMania 15? Before the Big Boss Man got hung from the
Yeah.
cell?
I think
Okay.
it was, yeah.
that was shocking though too. I was
Oh
like,
yeah, dude. I thought he literally was dead because I mean they hung him from a noose.
Yeah.
It was
off the
shocking
cell.
until he spun around and you saw the thing on his back that was actually
Yeah.
holding him, So,
well, I'm glad they had some backup. I mean, shoot. I mean, well, actually, that was before Owen Hart died. So I mean,
Oh yeah, over the edge. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah.
So it's not like they did this. Owen Hart's accident happened, and then they did this. So I guarantee you they wouldn't have done that if it was Owen Hart already had that accident.
all
Yeah,
right,
but you
Casey.
know what's weird about that
Who?
though is
What?
that the same rigging thing, the same rigging company that did how Sting used to drop from the ceiling
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
was the same company with Owen Hart when he died.
Really?
Literally, yeah. That's what I keep hearing. I heard about it. But yeah, go ahead, Casey. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Now, Casey, what is your 18? And if you say fucking Hulk Hogan or Kevin Nash, I'm coming to find you. Okay? Fair warning.
Well, sadly, it's
Son of a
hot.
bitch.
It's Hollywood Hogan.
Oh, the best version. Oh my god.
Casey, are you backwards today?
I smell a Vince Russo heel turn here. I think Casey's pulling some shenanigans. This is what I
I
think
think
this
you've
is.
been watching WCW 2000 too much now.
Well,
All
granted,
right, why is Hulk Hogan 18, Casey? Inform us.
well, because he was a heel Hogan. I mean, Hogan. I grew up was he was the All American face, and I was like, so when he turned heel, I mean, it broke my heart. So that
Did you cry when he turned heel? Did you cry?
yeah, a little bit inside, but you guys gotta remember, it's not there was hundreds of these wrestlers in WCW, so top 20, that's not bad.
I think that was,
You gotta
to
remember
be
that.
honest with you, I think that was genius of Eric Bischoff turning Hogan heel. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Bash at the Beach 96. You look at it. The outsiders are beating up Macho Man, Lex Luger, and Randy Savage. and all of a sudden Hulk Hogan comes out because he's like Mr. Face. Everybody loves Hogan, and then he drops the big leg on Savage, and the next thing you know,
Macho.
everybody's just like, "Oh my God, Hulk Hogan turned on WCW." You wouldn't think, because yeah.
Yeah.
Casey, the man who you had idolized on your wall, you put at number 18.
Well, that was the red and white and blue Hogan. That's the yellow and red Hogan. I mean,
Well,
like I
with
said, that was the heel version that I chose.
That was the best
way up.
Hogan.
I'm going to try to save Casey's pick here and redeem it a little bit. And we're going to get a little God of Thunder action. I'm going the Kiss Demon. That dude.
Oh wow!
Now
Yeah.
I want to know why.
Huh?
Now I want to really know why.
Dude, the entrance when you had Kiss playing live on the stage and you see that coffin
Nitro.
come up and you had the Demon come out of that awesome looking coffin that had the spikes and the skull
Yeah.
and everything else. That was so cool. I mean, was he the best wrestler? No, of course not.
No.
But once again, I'm not a technical wrestler guy. I like the gimmick. I like the character. And I've always been a Kiss fan. And when they had the Demon come out, I was like, oh, wait, this is holy crap. You know what I mean?
This is something new.
I just wish they had went full with it and done the full Spaceman, the cat, the whole thing, and had the full crew. But if the Demon thing didn't really get over, so I don't know. I was always a fan.
Let me ask you about that with the Nitro when Kiss performed. How'd you feel about them doing lip syncing?
I assume that happens more often than not, even when they're in concert. So it is what it is.
Come on, Turner's paying a whole bunch of money.
Well, I mean, hell, I'm going to a Rob Zombie concert in a few days, so I assume there will be some lip singing done there too. It is what it is. So
I don't know. Rob Zombie does a hell of a job, man. I seen him at Ozfest 2005. He on second stage. He was really good.
I don't know, lip singing or not, the Demon was cool. He had the gimmick, he had the character. I always liked him versus Sting. Just like with Vampiro versus Sting. Vampiro, Hero, yeah. He didn't make my list, but he was one of the last cuts that
was a good match with him and Sting.
I love the graveyard match. The graveyard match is my favorite one out of all of those.
Okay, the finish was the best when Sting and them literally. I believe it wasn't Sting that he got set on fire and he fell off the stage.
Yeah, they were on.
Oh, actually, that was a stunt double. That was not.
It was a stunt double, yeah.
Right, but the kayfabe Sting,
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Well, it was really funny, because they were flashing the lights at the time to try to cover when Sting steps back, and if you pause.
Yeah,
you can see a guy wearing one of those cheap plastic Sting masks.
Yeah,
it was obvious. I remember that. I had one of those.
It was obvious, but I bet you money that Kiss got a big chunk of the revenue from that.
Oh yeah,
they
dude.
did. Oh yeah, Gene Simmons was. I mean, if you listen to Eric Bischoff's podcast
and
about
Tony
this,
Schiavone.
Eric Bischoff was negotiating directly with Gene Simmons himself on this because Gene Simmons owns that gimmick or whatever, right? That trademark.
Yeah.
So they had to.
He's a smart businessman. He's rich for a reason. It's not just because of the band. He knows how to merchandise the Kiss name and everything.
The hottest band in the world, man.
Who you got, AJ, at 17?
I got 17 Lex Luger. The total package.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it could have been higher, but it's just, Lex Luger, I didn't expect, especially the debut of Nitro, because, he's a WWE guy coming in, even though he was a former WCW guy starting out.
Yeah.
WCW. But then he went to WWE as doing the whole narcissist gimmick, and then, the debut of Nitro, it's like you didn't expect him to be there. It's like, what the hell is he doing here?
Well, that's the start of the whole thing with WCW and WWE.
Well, yeah, the Monday Night Wars, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
even
the first shot across the bow in the Monday Night War for many people.
oh
And
yeah.
yep.
I just learned about
I would
something.
think Hogan would have been it if you really think about it, just before the war. Because '94 is when Hogan came out and bashed at the Beach '94.
Right.
So
I don't know.
I recently learned when he left WCW to go to, actually he went to WBF first, the Body Federation.
Yeah.
I never heard of that place.
Yeah,
Well-
that was the bodybuilding federation that Vince owned, and that's how Lex Luger got out of his WCW deal, because Vince hired him for the WBF, not the WWF, and he kept him bodybuilding until his 90 days or whatever was over, and then he brought him back to TV.
I knew he had some work done on his arm because he got in an accident, but I didn't realize how bad it got because
He almost lost it.
Yeah, I did not know that. It's like he almost had his arm amputated. I was like, when I heard about that recently, like I'm talking about the last couple days, I was listening and just happened to be about that. I was like, really? He was about to lose his arm?
That's crazy, man. Just what Lex Luger nowadays, it's just sad. Like you see him now, and you like, that's Lex Luger. What the hell happened?
Yeah, but he's always happy now, though. I mean, obviously, we don't know how he is behind the scenes or anything, but at least in front of the people and everything else, he seems to be genuinely happy. So, I mean, he found his faith and he found a better way, and God bless him for it. So,
of course,
it's all good.
I was gonna make the horrible joke. I was like, when he was in the, I was like, when he was in the wheelchair or before the wheelchair.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I actually hear he's more.
I thought you were going to talk about the Miss Elizabeth one. That's what I was
going to say. How he helped kill Miss Elizabeth. That's where I thought you were going with
that.
I think he gets too much of a bad rap. I mean, her own person. I mean, unless he's literally pushing drugs into her, she's her own person. Yeah, I mean.
Well, from what you want to hear, I mean, that night when Liz got killed, he had a big, strong hand in it, especially with the liquor and the pills that she was doing, and he was just feeding her pills. I mean, it was bad. Not to mention, I mean, come on, you have a wife, and then on the side you have Miss Elizabeth, and you have her at your condo, and you're feeding her pills, and then she ODs at your house, and you freak out. It's like, come on.
And it's a damn shame that they still don't have Miss Elizabeth in the Hall of Fame. That's a fucking crime.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, come on, the first woman of the WWF, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the WWF, just seeing her in WCW with the Horseman with Ric Flair and Woman. That's what that last episode when you guys were talking about the women of WCW, you guys forgot about Miss Elizabeth. You guys forgot about Woman.
Woman is hot too.
Oh yeah, there's many things that didn't get covered on that. There's a whole fountain of knowledge there that hasn't even been tapped of whatever.
Yeah.
But
dude, how long we were talking? Was it last week? Was it like
an hour and a half?
I think me and Tex, we damn near went 3 hours. We did an hour and a half for mine, and then another hour for Drew.
Yeah, we did there was more to than what was on the previous video, obviously, but there's a lot. Like, as with all conversations, we start out on point, and then it starts going
exactly.
Sorry, Drew, had to do that little pun there.
We get derailed very easily. It's a good thing we're on that podcast network, but Casey, who is your number 17?
Before I bring it up, it was funny. We were like, both me and Tex, we couldn't wait for a certain part of the video come up was when we were talking about the Sunny promo. No, Sunny porno.
Oh yeah.
I was like, we got so derailed. I'm like, how's
Oh, yeah.
Sonny Porno and WCW got the
Right. She
Who
was
knows?
in WCW for a cool minute though. Like
yeah,
the end.
But that part of the episode is still my favorite part of the episode. That was incredible. That was great.
I really need to cut that out and put it by itself.
But there is a part that you guys forgot about that. You forgot about talking about with the Sunny Days promo that Shawn Michaels cut on Bret Hart back in '97
Yeah.
with that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
his wife got so upset she almost divorced Bret because of that promo.
Yeah.
And Shawn, because she really thought
They ended up
they saw
divorced
wrestling
anyways.
as a-
Who gives a
Yeah, I
crap?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
remember.
mean, it's so easy for these wrestlers to fool
Oh
around.
yeah, pick up
I'm
a
sure.
chick. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for them to stay faithful when women throwing themselves at you.
Oh
Or
yeah, when you have ring rats.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can only say no for so long until you see a real hot chick, and like, it's like,
I
and then
no,
it's
go ahead.
gonna.
I'm sorry, Casey.
Oh, that's all right. And it's super hard to stay faithful. And then, like I said, a super hot chick is throwing herself at you. It's kind of hard to say no forever.
But you have to think about that too, though, is that some of those wrestlers, their women, their wives or whatever, girlfriends, they were actually on the road with them. Like if you think about like DDP, Kimberly,
Yeah.
Nitro Girl,
Oh, love Kimberly.
Benoit, when he was dating Nancy before, after. It's like, how do you actually book yourself into a divorce? The Kevin Sullivan. I mean, come on, you literally got
Kevin
cut.
Sullivan.
Like
Yeah,
seriously.
Kevin Sullivan was a real great booker. He booked himself all the way into divorce court.
Yeah, really.
He saw it coming. That's probably why. He's like, but
Yeah.
dude, she's a hot woman.
Oh yeah, Nancy. Oh my God, like she is.
Well,
too
she's really cold now, Casey, because Chris Benoit murdered her. So.
Oh,
very sad.
oh, shoot,
And their son. You can't forget about Daniel. That's just
God. I guarantee you, I don't even think they're skeleton. No, would they be skeletons? Just I
There
mean,
would be a
also,
skeleton.
well, you don't know if they got cremated. They could have got cremated, so they could
I
be
tell you what,
dead.
Casey.
good point. Good
Go
point.
get you a shovel and go find the grave, and you answer that for us. How about that? We'll wait for your response. All right. So.
No, I don't want to be arrested anytime soon.
Yeah, Casey goes down to Atlanta, Georgia, and gets arrested.
Well, Casey, who do you have at 17, bud?
I'm gonna choose Hulk Hogan, the red and yellow version.
Oh,
Wait,
you're trying
are
to
we allowed
bury
to
Hulk
pick two
Hogan
people?
twice.
Wow, Casey.
I mean, I figured we could do how we wanted, so I was like, yes. I mean, quite frankly, when he was in WCW, the whole red and yellow was starting to get a little old. So, I mean,
So which
WWE,
color should he have worn? If red and yellow was old, black and white's not good. Like, what is acceptable?
maybe before he turned heel, the Black Hogan, where he's just
The
wearing
Black
all,
Hogan, someone clip
Black
that.
Hogan.
where
The
he's
Black
all
Hogan.
one he dressed up all in black, but he wasn't Hollywood. He was doing that whole thing with the Dungeon
The
of
Dungeon of
Doom.
Doom. Yeah.
That Hogan is higher up the list.
Well, I expect to hear that name at least in the top 5. I'm not even going to dignify anything else of this with a response. I'm going to cut you off. And at number 17, you have one of the greatest country music acts of all time, and that's the West Texas Rednecks.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
Yes.
the Double J.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Oh no, he's on my list too. You just wait. He is much higher on this list. I am a Jarrett fan, but
Okay.
no, this is the Kurt Hennig led West Texas Rednecks.
Oh,
I
yes.
love their gimmick when they're fighting with the Gangsters or whatever the team name
Oh,
was.
yeah,
I can't remember.
Oh, No Limit Soldiers.
No Limit Soldiers. Yeah, I'm
With
thinking
Master
Gangsters
P,
of
that's what it
Jim
was.
Cornette Gangsters.
Yep.
But the whole rapish crap song. I still listen to that on YouTube every
That's
once in a
crazy.
while.
That actually got airtime and actually got on the Billboard 100 chart. That's crazy.
Well, Kurt Hennig, obviously all the guys, Bobby Duncombe and all the guys that were in it really sold it. But Kurt Hennig, man, he loved playing that gimmick. Like if you go back and watch him, you can tell he was genuinely happy doing it. and it was just a lot of fun. You know, all the music videos they shot and everything else. It was really cool. It was, once again, in that I am self-admittedly a fan of that bad time in WCW, like that late '99 to 2000s, whatever.
Yeah.
I happen to like that era, but West Texas rednecks were there for me.
I agree. I think they were pretty good. I mean, during that time, I kind of agree with what they. I mean, I'm starting to listen more old school rap back then now than I was then. But
God, I would pay video to see you video game hunting with, the boom, boom rap, coming out of your car. That would be hilarious.
Well, I mean, there's some music I'm like, I'll play, but I turn it way down because it's a guilty pleasure song. But I don't want to be.
Britney Spears, Casey. Do you listen to Britney Spears' "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time"?
There is one Britney Spears song I do like, but it's not that one. The one I like is the one I do like is from Austin Powers. I think it's Goldmember. There's a video with her and Austin Powers. I think it's called Boys.
No clue.
You listen to a Britney Spears song about boys.
Well, she talks about how hot this one dude is, and then he turns around saying how hot she is, and to me it's a good song. That's the only one that I care.
Now, I have to ask the question: what kind of boys do you find hot, Casey? Because if you're listening to that, I have to question you, my friend.
None, because I mean, I just find a good song.
Okay, well, if you don't want to come out of that closet, you just hold that door real tight, and we're not going to make you come out. It's okay, but we'll just move forward. So, AJ, what's your number 16?
I got AA, Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson, hell yeah.
Yep.
He was another cut right there at the very end for me, but yeah.
Oh, his prime, man. Like, especially when the Horsemen. Like, I mean, people like different iterations of the Horsemen. I mean, I like I said, I wasn't there when like the original Horsemen, like Tully, Flair, Barry Windham and all that. No, yeah, Ole. I wasn't even there for that. Like, to be honest with the Horsemen I know is Ric Flair, Chris Benoit, Mongo, and
Arn.
Dean Malenko and Arn. Well, Arn, if you remember when they had the Horsemen, because the Horsemen came back in like 1996, 1997. Yeah. So that's the Horseman I grew up on.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Arn had given up his spot. Yeah, that's right.
That the whole mockery with the NWO did with Arn Anderson coming out with the beer. Yeah.
Come on, that was funny as fuck.
That was funny.
Oh, it was. It was great. Yeah. That was cool.
Arn, Kevin Nash coming out with a fucking beer belly. And
I love it. It's like I can't lift up my beer hand no more. Trying to make like he was making fun of him being an alcoholic.
Right.
Oh, that
was cool.
I think that's brilliant.
Casey, what is your 16?
You better have a good one.
It's the black version of Hulk Hogan.
The black version.
Hey, think about this. He's getting 3 spots in the 20.
So, instead of the 3 faces of Foley, we're getting the 3 faces of Hogan. This is what we're getting here.
Exactly.
Please explain. Continue to explain. Just go ahead.
Because that's the best version of Hulk Hogan to me during that time frame. I mean, he was starting to turn heel, but he was still a face at the same time. And he's still trying to fight off the Dungeon of Doom. So he was slowly turning heel, but when he turned heel, he was all bad. So I want a little good and a little bad of Hogan.
So could you almost call him like gray Hogan instead of black? Because he was like a mix of white and dark. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I guess you could say that, but the reason I say black Hogan is because he's all in black.
Jeez.
This is before.
There's going to be so many clips of you saying black. It's ridiculous. You're never. Plus, the hip hop reference, you're done, Kate. You're canceled after this comes out. So, yeah.
I mean, I said some crazy shit before. I'm shocked I'm not canceled yet.
Dog, Casey, you're uncancelable, man. You can't get canceled.
Well, my number 16 is very off the wall, and technically he was a talent and a performer, but that's Eric Bischoff.
Oh yeah.
Before you had in-ring McMahon or anything else, you had in-ring Bischoff. You had Bischoff calling out Vince McMahon, sitting on the Harley when he beat WWF. You had all of these things. Let's also not forget his match at Starrcade 97, where he was fighting for control of Monday Nitro, where he lost, but, it was...
Nabisco.
Oh, yeah. It was Eric Bischoff. There's very little modern day wrestling I watch, but I don't miss an 83 Weeks podcast because Eric Bischoff is still entertaining. So just for that, he gets my 16 spot.
You forgot the match he called out Vince McMahon at Slamboree.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Oh, just a cheap plug on this. 83weeks.com or bluechew.com/83weeks saves you 10%. You're welcome, Eric.
Yeah. We expect a handsome cut of your all that money you're making with Conrad over there. So,
Yeah. Oh, talk about Conrad. With the whole Ric Flair match, I'm hearing some people thinking that's the new way for some of these people.
That was great.
That was amazing.
That Jim Crockett Promotions?
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it.
I see. I'm kind of worried about that. It works for Ric Flair, but if you bring in a Booker T and then a Diamond Dallas Page and then another older wrestler, like that gimmick has diminishing returns every time that you do it. It's not an ongoing promotion. You know what I mean?
Jim Crockett?
No, he's talking about Conrad. People are thinking that he's going to do like all of these wrestlers' last matches. And stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Jim Crockett Promotions.
No, the Jim Crockett thing. That only works with Ric Flair.
Now. No, David Crockett owns it now.
Right. Yeah, but the whole Jim Crockett Promotions thing only worked with Ric Flair because he was a Crockett guy. It doesn't work with Booker or Diamond or Scott Steiner or whatever.
Well, you could probably do it with Sting.
That's what I was about to say, Sting, because Sting was he was the soldier. He was the last holdout from WCW and NWA and Jim Crockett.
I would rather his last match be there than GAEW. Please, please, please.
Oh yeah, I could totally see them doing Jim Crockett Promotions present Sting's final match. That would have been great.
One more time,
I think it's a good way. I mean, this would say, hey, this is it. But I've got a feeling, like you were saying, Tex, this is Conrad's new scam he's going to do. He's going to have everyone...
We're trying to kiss Conrad's butt, and you're telling him he's scamming people. What are you doing, Casey?
Okay.
Casey's a mark.
we're trying to clout chase here, and you're just throwing it all out the window.
Well, I mean, scam a good way.
Jesus.
I mean, the guy's smart. He's a pretty smart guy. I mean, look, he's probably has. I mean, how many podcasts that guy has? I mean,
about 15 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's smart enough. I'm like, shit. I'm wondering if he just has to rotate through these guys. Like, all right, I'll see you in 2 weeks or something like that. He can't do shows every fucking day.
Branched off on him. Like that Click This with Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Conrad's not doing that with him. It's some Sean Webb or Sean.
It's the guy that used to do all the shoot videos back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, that's him? Okay.
Yeah, that's him.
I'm not really familiar with him.
Yeah, no, that's him, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, AJ, what's your number 16? Or your number 15, excuse me. 15, yeah.
The American Dream, baby. That's
wow.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty far down the list.
Yeah. It's a little one. It would have been that or Piper. It would have been one of the two. I had to throw a mixture in there. Yeah. But no,
cool.
I love Dusty, but it's like, I didn't get to really see Dusty actually wrestle. I seen him one time wrestle, and I think that was like 99 2000 with Dustin. Like, I never seen
Yeah.
him actually wrestle for like WCW. He wrestled in the NWA and Crockett. Didn't see him in, I didn't see NWA or the Crockett years. It was basically WCW. So that's why I had to
Right.
throw him on the lower.
Well, I'm not ready to talk about him yet, so I'm going to hold off and let Casey give his words on the American Dream.
You know what? I really didn't get to watch a lot of Dusty Rhodes matches, but I know the guy's a legend, and I do have one quick story about Dusty Rhodes. So, this is when back in '06. This is when SmackDown and a ECW taping was coming around, and me and my buddy we went to the show. What's funny? Not only this was the night when on ECW when uh, Hardcore Holly got his back slashed. You remember that where that huge gouge on his back?
I don't remember that.
Nope, neither. I think I stopped watching wrestling at that time.
Well, I was there. It was really bad. It was like cross his back, like a gouge.
Jeez.
But when the show was over, we decided to go through the back way because the car was more. It was easier to get through there, and down the aisle, walkway, see someone, two people coming the opposite way. So I was like, told my buddy, I was like, I think that's Dusty Rhodes, and then walk by. It's like that was Dusty Rhodes. I wanted to shake the guy's hand, but I also didn't want to bother the man. You know, I don't want to say, "Hey, Dusty, I wanted to shake your hand," but I didn't want to bother the guy. But it was cool to walk by him and see him. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Well, who do you got at 15, Casey?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say Goldberg.
Holy
wow.
crap.
You're really burying yourself.
Boy, howdy.
Well, I mean, he's not in the bottom. Like I said, he's in number 15 of top 15 of all time. So, but I mean, but here's why he got lowered down than he should be. It's because he's not a really good wrestler. I mean, he's like Ultimate Warrior. You want to get that much done as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the match goes any longer,
he's no Kenny Omega right out there doing his gymnastics routine. You know, he's not out there with his jazz hands and whatnot. So, you know.
Hey, honestly, I would take Kenny Omega than Goldberg.
Oh, go to hell, Casey. You just go straight to hell and you stay there, sir.
Well, I mean, I do like that gymnastic wrestling, but if it's like really like flippy, then that's one thing. But I think Kenny Omega is really good, quite frankly. But there's a reason why Goldberg's matches is like 2 minutes or less. I mean, the guy can't really wrestle. I mean, he barely was in the power plant before they pulled his ass out and put it.
Well, Casey, you do know that Goldberg played for the Georgia Bulldogs, right, in college. He was a big linebacker.
Yeah.
And then he played for the Atlanta Falcons. You know that, right? Eric Bischoff literally saw Goldberg at a Falcons game, and he told Bill, why don't you come down to the power plant? Not even 2 weeks later, he was on Saturday night.
Yep.
Starting his streak. Yeah.
Well, I heard that he was also in the negotiation with WWF, but
nope. That's from what Eric said. That's never happened.
Oh, Goldberg says different. He said, but you know what? Who really you can trust nowadays with their information? I definitely wouldn't take Eric Bischoff's opinion. I mean, this is just as bad taking Hogan's or Vince McMahon's opinion on something.
We're trying to sweeten up Conrad, and one of his main podcasts is Eric Bischoff. You're saying Conrad's a scam artist, and you can't trust Eric Bischoff. Like, this is not me saying this, Conrad. This is that guy, that guy right there. So you can hire me. I will be a shill all day long. I will, yes, please. Well, to recover from your 15, we've got the most anti-gymnastics routine guys of all time, and that's the Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk.
Hell yeah!
And this is not the Legion of Doom where, I mean, they were good in WWF, obviously, but their best era was in WCW all the way through. And these dudes rocked. I mean, just go watch any of their. I mean, there's a reason why it's called the Road Warrior Pop, because whenever they came out, that place, the roof would just explode. So, yeah, I'm a huge Road Warrior guy. Animal was always my favorite. I wasn't as much of a Hawk guy, but you can't have one without the other.
What'd you think about LOD 2000? WrestleMania 14. Actually,
it was all right. It was. I mean, it anything Road Warriors is good, but there's nothing. There's nothing like a WCW or a Crockett produced Road Warriors for me. So,
Sonny was hot though.
Oh, but by that time they jumped the shark. By that time.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they repackaged them to LOD 2000.
Yeah, that.
If you're being repackaged, that means you're getting staled.
And to tie into the last episode, who was their valet that they came out to the ring with for LOD 2000?
Yeah.
Miss I pooted on a porno movie, Sonny. So there you go.
Oh, that's funny.
I heard that Hawk actually tossed that mask he was wearing. I don't know if it was at WrestleMania, but
that weird looking helmet that he wore.
Yeah, it was like a hockey mask that they were both wearing.
Was it? I'm not sure what it was.
I think that it was the goalie's mask that they had it all painted up. I mean, it looked good. I don't know why Hawk would toss that, because I
thought those were motorcycle helmets. They were painted up.
I'm pretty sure it was hockey. I mean,
I don't know.
You're talking about LOD 2000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were motorcycle helmets just painted up that look, yeah. If you type it in, you can see it. Because they debuted in WrestleMania 14. That was their first debut back.
I was pretty sure that was hockey mask, but hold on, I think you're right. Well, it looks like
silver.
It looks kind of like in between almost. It looks like almost like a motorcycle helmet / a hot goalie's mask.
I don't know. Hey, I mean, either way, it looked cool. I mean, like, the Road Warriors are always Road Warriors, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But AJ, who you got at 14, brother?
I got Roddy Piper, Starrcade 96. The Alcatraz, that was amazing. Especially seeing Piper in the Alcatraz, was freaking out, ripped up, smelly, dirty. And then he's like, "Take me to the Cow Palace. I got Hogan." And it's just like that. See, they don't do that anymore in wrestling. They don't have a story that people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, we got to watch the paper. We have to." Nowadays, it's like wrestling sucks and nobody cares. That's for WWE or AEW. And it's just like, it doesn't catch anybody's mind.
Well, it looks like nowadays the wrestling crowd is definitely died down. I mean, I was listening to Don Tony today while I was out game hunting, and he brought a bunch of good opinion that he thinks 75-80% of people who watch AEW also watches WWE. I would say I would almost say up that to 90%. You know.
Right.
Yeah, I could believe that.
I agree.
I don't
And
know.
and I think the whole wrestling audience is just dying, and everyone just moved on.
I
Well, it's
think
becoming a very niche product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
well, a lot of it too is once WCW got bought by WWF, all those WCW loyalists like myself, we just turned it off and never came back. That's
Pretty much.
literally me for I've been a wrestling fan since infancy, pretty much. My dad, when he saw Vince on the screen at Nitro, he threw the remote at the TV and said, "That's it." He said, "You boys aren't watching this shit no more." Turned it off.
Oh,
And that was
really?
it. I literally got back into wrestling probably like 2008, 2009. Like, I heard about the Benoit murders and I was like, no way, that didn't really happen. And then I heard it was going PG. So I watched, like, I think my first WrestleMania back maybe was the Vince versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 25 or 26, I remember. That was like my first coming back, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I think from 2001 all the way to what 2009, 2010.
Yeah. That's a good chunk.
Yeah.
Like Casey, you got a 14, brother.
Oh, let's see. It's getting hard to figure it out now. I would say probably Roddy Piper. He should have been a world champion.
Should have. I agree.
Yep.
I mean, he should have been at least in the WWF as world champion because I felt like he was, to me, he was red hot during that time. But he's always red hot with all the other promotions. So he should have been world champion somewhere.
Speaking of that, Casey, what do you think about the WrestleMania 12 with him and Goldust with the Hollywood backlot brawl?
That was cool.
I think it was interesting. It was something different they tried.
Yeah.
But I mean, at that time they were trying to get away from Goldust as, allegedly, everyone figured he was gay. So
yeah, the gimmick.
Well, yeah, he was. I mean, trying to molest Scott Hall or Razor Ramon.
Yeah,
per se in the
ring.
Undertaker.
And then he tried to do it with Piper. And then it didn't help when he tore off his bodysuit. Wasn't he wearing a teddy under there?
He was, yeah.
He had a heart of Razor too.
He went through the whole gimmick of wearing women's underwear and the whole artist formerly known as Goldust.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That was really weird time. But Roddy Piper,
in the 90s, you get away with it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, Roddy Piper should have been world champion. I mean, at least he was Intercontinental and United States champion.
Yep.
My favorite thing about him in WCW was him as an authority figure. I always liked him as the GM. He was really good in that role.
Over Flair?
That's a toss-up. But, I mean, since we're specifically speaking about Piper, he brought a different style to it. I always thought it was cool. And it was, I don't know, it worked for me. I thought it was cool. But my number 14 is Giant. Paul White, Big Show, whatever you want to call him. Obviously his introduction with the Dungeon of Doom, he comes out, they play him off as Andre's son, very it was just loose enough where they couldn't sue, basically, is what it was.
Right.
And
what about the Cobra one, the incident, Halloween Havoc 95 with the sumo monster trucks with
yes.
Oh,
where he falls off
off
Yeah,
the Joe Louis, the Cobo Arena. Actually, it wasn't Joe Louis. I
yeah,
don't think.
yeah. It was a Kobo. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and they didn't they allege that he fell into the water even though
He
there's no
fell
water?
into the Detroit River. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Being from Michigan, I know exactly where that is. I know exactly
yeah.
where they're talking about.
And then he shows up 5 minutes later for the match or
Yep.
something. I mean, it
Yeah,
was like
he's not even
nothing
soaking wet or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, are you kidding me?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, see,
John.
that's what. Why have we not officially canceled Hogan like completely? I mean,
I don't
we
know.
saw
Your
Hogan.
You
obsession
talked
with
about him
Hogan.
3 times so far, Casey. What are you
Right,
talking
what is
about?
your obsession?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy tried to kill Paul White. I mean, we saw it on WCW.
So hang on. Was it Black Hogan that tried to kill Paul White? Is that what you're saying, Casey?
Actually, I think it was Black Hogan, wasn't it?
Oh my God. Jesus.
I think that was at that time frame. I don't think he was wearing red and yellow anymore. I think he was that. I think
No,
that
he was in red and yellow because the monster truck was red and
It
yellow.
was. I seen
Oh,
Yes.
that. It was so cool.
Yeah.
That was great.
I think that whole monster truck I think it was stupid because all they did is they welded both of them together. I mean, it would have been awesome if you see them crashing each other, but I guess it makes sense not to do that. But
Casey, you're talking about the Cobo Arena. Those two monster trucks were on top of that arena.
Right.
It's not like, okay, I can imagine if the monster trucks would have fell off into the Detroit River. Okay, yeah, but I mean, it was a really good concept if you really look at it. No one's ever done that before.
or really since yeah, Stone Cold was on he did his monster truck, but as something like that, then you never seen that again.
Right, but who did it first? Think about it.
Once again,
WCW.
WCW.
WCW. And WWF, just for the record, WWF always acts like they're the victim in the Monday Night Wars, saying, "Oh, WCW did this and WCW did that." You guys did the same damn thing, so there should be any crying. Vince, I don't know why he keeps crying all the time, saying, "Oh, WCW stole talent, they rated talent." No, you guys did the same damn thing. It's dual combat.
They just went back and forth on all that stuff.
Exactly. But no, I'm just saying WWE acts like they're the victims all the time when they're not.
No,
Of course.
I agree 100% because I mean that's why we don't have the territorial anymore because
the territorials died in the 80s.
yeah, well because Vince went around and stole a bunch of talent from like the NWA, from AWA, probably from the WCCW.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And
Well, Crockett did the same thing. He's not innocent at all either.
no one's innocent as a promoter. I mean, you have to be mainly a dick to survive as a promoter.
Well, look at Crockett. The reason why Turner bought him out was because he was losing money. Think about it. The same way Crockett died before Ted Turner bought him was the same way WCW was dying in 2001 before Vince bought him. It was the same exact thing.
I like to bring something up. It's funny we're talking about that. While Vince paid like what $4 million,
$3 million
for WCW.
$3 million
for WCW, while he paid over damn near 20 for all these NDAs with these women. So he paid like 4 to 5 times for the women than he did for WCW.
And the real sad thing is that, Eric Bischoff literally had WCW bought, paid for the whole 9 yards. But that son of a bitch, fucking Jamie Kellner, and yes, you guys will hear a lot of that. I've told Tex the story multiple times already.
I hate that
Jamie
guy.
Kellner killed WCW single-handedly. It wasn't Vince Russo. It wasn't Ted Turner. It wasn't anybody. It was the head honchos up at TBS and TNT did not like wrestling. When AOL bought Turner, they didn't like wrestling. They hated it with a passion. They said they literally gave Bischoff a 30-day notification saying that WCW is going away. Thunder and Nitro and Thunder. They're both going away. And then the whole the promos, they were saying that that WCW had new ownership. That was just kayfabe, but in reality, nobody owned it really, besides Ted. But Ted didn't own it. It was so
but at that
complicated.
point, Ted Turner was barely involved in anything, though, because they were trying to take his own company away from him.
It was already taken away from him. He was pretty much, like you said in the last episode, he was sitting in a corner office playing with whatever he was playing with.
Right.
That was basically it.
He should have been smart enough to have better lawyers to look that shit over. He pretty much lost power when AOL.
Yeah, but Casey, that's the thing is, he wasn't thinking of AOL buying Time Warner. He thought he was buying AOL. There's a big difference.
Yeah, it's kind of like
lied to, like Vince McMahon. Right now, I don't like Vince. I've never liked Vince, but in reality, I think there's a conspiracy going on with Nick Khan and Triple H and Stephanie. They're trying to get the old man out. Well, they already did. So they can
they
sell that
succeeded.
company. They'll get rich. That's exactly what I think. I think they're trying to sell the company off to get rich. They've been talking about it for years. That Vince even said it. WWE will always be able to be sold if need be. Yeah. This is the perfect time. Think about it. Ted Turner got kicked out of his own company. WCW got sold to WWE. Vince got kicked out. It sounds very similar.
Yeah, true. Good point. I mean, I think WWE is a lot bigger than WCW was.
Ted Turner was a very powerful guy too. Think about it. Before WWE went public, yeah, they were just a regional too. Ted Turner, when Ted Turner bought WCW from Jim Crockett was a regional too. But Ted Turner, if you went to Atlanta and you said Ted Turner, everybody knew who he was.
Oh yeah.
You just think CNN, you think TBS, you think TNT, all of those. He had a channel way before Vince even had any of that. You remember Vince came actually to TBS that Black Saturday.
Yeah.
And that's what pissed off Turner, because Turner hated Vince with a passion.
Well, I was hearing that Turner wanted a piece of the WWF and Vince wouldn't give him a piece of it.
No, that was the time slot. Turner never wanted Vince on TBS. And so when that Black Sunday happened, or it's Black Saturday, my bad, Black Saturday, Vince literally sold his time slot to Jim Crockett for $1 million. And that's when the whole Jim Crockett lost so much money, not enough coming in, and Turner was like, well, wrestling has been such a big part of this network, I'm just gonna buy Jim Crockett Promotions, rebrand it to WCW, and so forth, and then it happened.
And I think it was smart because, Jim Crockett Production, I mean, it sounds too regional.
It was a southern.
It was territory wrestling back in the day.
Yeah.
You had Mid-Atlantic wrestling. You had Georgia Championship Wrestling. You had, the Carolinas. You got, like I said, you got to read that Nitro book, the Rise and Fall of WCW, the Nitro book that Guy Evans wrote. You have to read that. It goes into deep, really deep.
Like I was telling Tex last time, I was like, I feel like Vince Russo got a bad rap. I mean, the show was going down in the toilet before he showed up. So when they were trying to blame him for really putting it in the toilet, I'm like I feel like he got a really bad rap for that. And
it didn't help though with David Arquette winning the world championship. I mean, let's be honest, that was a Russo thing, and then Russo putting the belt on himself. Come on.
Not only that, also when Vince won it himself too, that didn't help.
Funny fact, David Arquette almost made my list, by the way. He was this close to getting on my list just because I enjoyed that.
I would have to reach into that screen. Oh no!
That close.
You know,
Wow.
I do have a couple honorable mentions that I'll do at some point, but
I mean,
he was
we could do it
this
now.
close to making the list. So
We could do those now if you wanted to.
well, we're at 14 now.
Yeah,
13,
we only got a few
13.
more to. Yeah, 13.
Yeah, we're at 13. Well, let's save our honorable mentions for the
Next one.
Or we can do that at the end of this one. Either way, however,
Let's do it at the end of the show.
But yeah, we'll AJ, what's your number 13?
The Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott,
Nice. Hell yeah.
hometown boys. Yep.
Hell yeah. I'm not ready to talk about them yet, so I'm gonna let you two talk.
All right.
I kind of like Scott better.
Ahead,
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Casey.
I was going to say I prefer Scott than Rick, but I mean, I thought Scott had a bad rap in the WWE, but
well, in the WWE, his legs were shot. By that point, I mean, he was done. You know what I mean?
Oh, he still wrestled years later. I mean, he was in TNA for a while.
Yeah, but not like he was in WCW. I mean, once he messed up his back, he was done.
Yeah.
But go ahead and explain about the Steiner brothers.
There's so much. I mean, because you got to think about it. They were in a whole lot of promotions. I mean, they've done it all. I mean, you got the dog face gremlin. I mean, you got Big Papa Pump. Before Big Papa Pump. I mean, they've won the New Japan Pro Wrestling tag teams. They've had gold in, I believe it was AAA too. They won gold. They've multiple times WCW champ.
I think the only one that they didn't hold gold in was ECW, right?
Yeah, because they never went to the ECW. They were strictly WWF or WCW.
I thought they showed up on ECW, but I know they didn't win anything.
You got to remember, ECW started in 1995.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Eastern Championship Wrestling. That was prior. I'm talking about Extreme Championship Wrestling. That started in 95. No, they were strictly WCW and WWE. Mostly WCW. I mean, they had that run in, 92, 93?
Yes. They only had a very short run in WWF.
Right, because if you think Steiner Brothers, you think WCW. You don't think WWF. That's like Ric Flair being in WWF. You think 1 year.
Who figured that, I mean, a few years ago, Scott Steiner was banned from showing up at the Hall of Fame, and then this past year, he's been inducted with his brother. So
yeah, isn't that crazy? That the last 2 years, and Vince hates WCW worth of passion, but yet you got the NWO in the Hall of Fame. You got Eric Bischoff in the Hall of Fame, which I'm still waiting for Ted Turner to be in the Hall of Fame. Eventually it's going to happen. It will happen. If Eric can be in it, so can Ted, because Eric actually wanted to fight Vince. Ted Turner never wanted to fight Vince on ratings, because he was a ratings guy. He wanted to see what his company could do. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fair play.
Hold on, before we move on, let me do something real quick.